It was a bold idea, first conceptualized in 2001, to create one of the largest and greenest terminals in the world by combining two aging terminals into one. Construction started in 2011. Today, it is a reality. Long Beach Container Terminal at the Port of Long Beach is one of the world's most advanced shipping terminals with its zero-emission operation and state-of-the-art technology. Capable of handling 3.3 million TEUs annually, more than double the capacity of the two aging terminals it replaced, LBCT is one of the busiest container terminals in the United States. Using clean electricity to power its entire operation, today, the 4,200-foot-long wharf can welcome the largest container ships in the world. To cut emissions, all the ships plug into shore power electricity while at berth. Then, using the only ship-to-shore cranes in the Americas capable of lifting two containers at the same time, the terminal can service three of the largest ships in the world at once. To quickly move the containers to the storage area, 102 automated guided transport vehicles, or AGVs, deliver them to the fully automatic stacks, where the all-electric, fully automated stacking cranes load the containers onto trucks. This highly orchestrated zero-emission operation is not only green, but also highly efficient, offloading and loading ships in less time than any other terminals on the West Coast, with trucks moving in and out of the terminal with record speed. For cargo that will be delivered via train, the Intermodal Rail facility has 6 semi-automated rail cranes to load and unload trains onto the largest on-dock rail facility in North America. All this using clean electricity to power these giant machines, making LBCT one of the most sustainable terminals in the world. The vision was clear from the start: design and build a terminal like no other, a green terminal where the economy and environment thrive together, where green means productivity, jobs for our workforce, prosperity for the region, and protection of our air, water, and natural resources. The future is now at LBCT.
Every time I see that video, I am in awe that we were able to accomplish what so many people thought was impossible. The electrification of the Long Beach Container Terminal is a success story in so many ways. We are one of the world's largest, most technologically advanced marine cargo handling facilities in the world. More than 40% of the goods for the entire United States are imported and exported through the San Pedro Port Complex. As the Director of Environmental Sustainability for LBCT, my mission and challenge is to create the first true net zero emissions facility, industrial facility in the world. Because while historically, the ports of San Pedro has been an economic engine for the entire world, the communities of West Long Beach, Gardena, Carson, Wilmington, and San Pedro, where I live, have suffered from the worst air quality, the most severe non-attainment zones in the country. Let me break down what that means. There are noxious gases called NOx, sulfur oxide called SOx, and particulate matter, that dust, that black soot that comes from combustion that does not meet acceptable air quality standards. That means these 5 communities suffer from the highest rates of childhood asthma in the state, and the Interstate 710 corridor, which carries most of the truck traffic between the ports and the valley and the rest of the country, suffered the highest COVID deaths in the country. For me, it's personal. I grew up in a community in northern New Jersey, an industrial community much like the port complex. My mother has a condition called Barrett's esophagus. My grandmother died of lung cancer. My grandfather died of emphysema. My other grandfather died of tuberculosis. Until the late 1890s, we called it consumption. Coincidence? I think not. My older brother and my mother always had severe asthma, and my older brother died of cancer at a very young age. My younger brother and I contract bronchitis every single time we get a cold. And I, in the last decade, have had whooping cough, pneumonia, and a severe case of COVID, as has my younger brother. So yes, for me, it is personal. I am on a quest to create the first true net zero emissions industrial facility right here in the region. The reality is that we all need to be worried about pollution. The Earth is one large ecosystem with air streams and jet streams and ocean currents that connect us all. But pollution is just one part of the problem. To understand the complexity, one needs to understand what supply chains are. What are supply chains? Supply chains are the process where we start with extraction in some other country and raw materials, and it takes us all the way to the finished products. Things like coffee and chocolate and paper and fish. And supply chains exist everywhere. There are supply chains for ketchup and for iPhones and sneakers. Simple t-shirts that we wear cross countries, communities, oceans, continents, to get to us online or in a retail store. But Long Beach Container Terminal is just one link in the supply chain, but it's an important link. And I'm here to tell you that I'm excited about it for two reasons. The first is to show you that it is possible to make that connection between economic sustainability and prosperity, between environmental sustainability and protection of good-paying jobs and the people who live in and around the ports. And the second is to show you that if we can do it, other terminals can do it. Other ports can do it. Other companies can do it. Other links in the supply chain can do it too. So far, $2.5 billion has been spent to build the supply chain at Long Beach Container Terminal. We started the process in 2006, and in 2016, we opened our first berth. Only last year, in 2023, we finished the last 5 cranes of the 93 cranes. We also finished the second largest battery exchange building in the world, and that keeps these electrified container transporters moving. And when every ship arrives at the Long Beach Container Terminal, it shuts off its diesel engines and it plugs in to shore power. So there are no diesel emissions the whole time it's sitting there. And as the video said, the trucks move in and out in about 30 to 45 minutes, shorter time frames than any terminal in this country. Do people remember on the nightly news during the pandemic when you saw the 106 ships lined up along our coastline? They went from Malibu to Manhattan Beach to Palos Verdes to Huntington Beach and Newport. And as they were anchored, they were spewing out emissions. Not one of those ships was ours. Not one. We took every ship on time and on schedule. And not only that, we alleviated this entire supply chain backup of an additional 50 ships. So many of you probably didn't even realize what a supply chain was until your access to toilet paper was potentially disrupted. Suddenly, supply chains became a household word on the nightly news. And now we know what they are. And they are not as complex as people make them, but they are an important part of the chain. And this is a significant accomplishment that LBCT has done. What this chart shows you is that while we have grown 4 times the size we were back in 2016, we demonstrated during the pandemic that we could do enough lifts to grow 5 times the size. So again, it's showing that link, that hand-in-hand link between economic prosperity, environmental sustainability, and protection of people who live in and around the ports, including good-paying jobs. But what this chart also shows you on that red line is how much the emissions have decreased. Emissions have decreased at LBCT by almost 90%. And when emissions decrease, people win. The National Institute of Health and the World Health Organization say that when emissions decrease, rates of childhood asthma go down, and so do other non-contagious diseases. So what's left for us to do at the Port of Long Beach to become the true green net zero emissions facility? And it says by 2030, my goal is to do it by July 17th, 2028, when the Olympics starts. What's left is we have to come up with another $250 million to replace the existing 260 diesel trucks and propane forklifts with electrified trucks. Since I arrived in 2021, we have successfully secured over $100 million in state and federal grants to set us on our way. And I assure you, I am feverishly pursuing that last $150 million. If any takers, I'm here at a break. So will we get there? Yes, we will. People, planet, and profit can thrive together. There is hope. The technology exists today. The future is now. Thank you.